Omo like this, no be small brigade dey happen for inside Arise TV studio like this. So, as Labour Party, PDP and APC spokespersons, they gbas their self inside studio. Abeg, I no wan talk too much. I like when I watch the video and I say when I hear everything wey dey happen. I give Kenneth Okoko respect. When I watch the video, drop your comment, then share the video. When I watch am.
Let me start with you, Mr. Felix Morka. Let me quote what President Buhari himself said. I've tried my best, but my best is just not good enough. He says he's been harassed and, you know, that Nigerians don't seem to appreciate his good work. Do you think history will judge President Buhari correctly or positively? Felix Morka.
Well, thank you. Yes, thank you very much. Ngozi, and compliments of the season to you and to our viewers. I think history will judge Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari very generously for his work, for his steadfastness, for his really, truly transformative interventions in the governance of this country across all sectors over the last 7 years, nearly 8 years. This president has done more than any other individual president has done since, you know, the inauguration of our current nascent democracy in 1999. No other president compares with the amount of dedication, of accomplishments that this president has demonstrated over these last few years. You know, I mean, look, we're in an election season, and it's easy for anyone, any individual, any group of persons, or even political parties to try to deride or diminish the accomplishment of this president. But the fact remains, undisputably, that if you take the time to look at the figures and look at the data and the actual blow-by-blow account of the record of work of this president in all sectors, and I say in all sectors of our national life, if you do that with any modicum of objectivity, you will find and conclude that this individual, who is our president, has done an enormous amount of work. And now, if you like, I mean, I can go into a lot of that detail, but, you know, I leave that up to you if you want that.
Great. Thank you for leaving it there for now. Let me bring it to Kenneth Okonkwo. What do you have to say to what Felix Morka just said? He says, look, of all presidents that Nigeria has had, there is no president that has performed as well as President Muhammadu Buhari.
Well, first of all, let me say that I'm already on a Christmas mode. I wouldn't have really loved to use this opportunity to be talking about this. Let me say Merry Christmas to everybody, and I wish you a prosperous New Year. If you listen to the prose that the APC spokesperson or publicity secretary just did, it's just a prose. He talked about his government doing well, no figures. He boasted about, oh, this and that, no statistics. We are tired of being bamboozled with proses. We want actualities. Let me help him with the statistics, and I'm going to be very conversational with it. I will start with the television that we are watching. APC government promised us that before they finish, we'll be watching digital television. They failed. They said they will give us Nigerian Air that will take the place of Nigerian Airways. After the 5th attempt and after spending billions of naira, they failed. They said they are going to take 100 million persons out of poverty. They ended up taking in 133.3 million persons into poverty. They have been busy building pyramids of poverty consistently. They said they were going to, give us 1 naira to $1, and they are ending up giving us 1,000 naira to $1. They met an inflation figure of about 9%, Today we have about 20-something%.
Yeah, Kenneth, I could let you go on, but what
Please.
about what people are
I want
saying
him to
are
name-
Buhari's legacies in
Yes.
infrastructure development, that he has done a lot. Look at the rail system across the country. Look at the roads. He's built the second Niger bridge, which many governments before now have failed to do.
Good. Let me concede that I'm very excited about the second Niger bridge. But let me also regret that all these infrastructure purportedly built, we are all built on borrowed money, and none was creatively adopted to produce any revenue. None. Meaning that for giving us second Niger bridge, you have taken the next generations into bondage of debts. And you know, they want to situate the debts to the GDP. What a fraud. And they will mention statistics of advanced countries saying that they borrow this to their GDP. GDP is the total of the products and services produced in a country in a year. So when you want to situate your debts to GDP, you have to be a productive country, not a country that is producing nothing. And you're talking about GDP. That
Right.
is why their revenue can no longer service their debts. So this government of APC has failed. And the most honestly annoying thing is that rather than even trying to get a successor that might even ameliorate the problem, they now made a choice of a candidate that does not even understand
All right,
statistics
let me bring
anymore.
in a very quick, I'll bring in Dino before I go back to Felix Morka to respond to what Kenneth Okonkwo has just said. Dino, Melaye, well, the APC says whatever failures that are being perceived of the APC, that the PDP laid the foundation, that the PDP lost the opportunity to lay the right foundation for Nigeria's democracy development in all spheres to take off properly. What say you?
Anyway, I want to start Ejoma by saying that to start with, I want to advise my brother Felix that the gargantuan, colossal lie he just told, I advise that he apologize to God Almighty. And if he's a Christian, he should read Psalm 55 and ask for mercy. And if he's a Muslim, he should tonight do 1,000 astaghfirullah to ask God for mercy. In a very civilized, I'm sorry, Ngozi, I'm sorry. My apology, Ngozi. And again, if I will advise that he listens to his elders, because I know that his community, his traditional rulers will summon him to a village meeting for telling this public lie. Having said that, I want to congratulate President Buhari for turning 80. And my prayer is that the Almighty God will grant him long life, will give him sound health, and I wish him well. But to talk about the APC-led administration under President Muhammadu Buhari, I will say in the economy, F9, power, F9, agriculture, F9, security, F9, infrastructure, F9. In fact, F9 parallel. That is what the Buhari administration have given to Nigerians. I don't even need to go into statistics and being scientific. Practical illustration. A bag of rice in 2014 was 8,500. Today it's 45,000 now. Just yesterday, people were flying from Abuja to Lagos for 120,000 naira economy. How much is a loaf of bread today? From 120 naira, a loaf of bread today is over 1,000 naira. There is no poor man's food. Gari is no longer a poor man's food in Nigeria today. Insecurity is pervasive. When Buhari took over power, he promised 3 million jobs per year. At the expiration of his 8 years today, 3 times 8, we are supposed to have generated 24 million jobs. But no, instead, over 50 million people have now joined the unemployment market. So there is no sector of our national life that the Buhari administration or the APC have done well. From the fastest growing economy in Africa.
Uncharitable. Let me
We
still
have become
stay with
the
you very
poverty
quickly.
capital of the world.
Dino, if you'll allow me, the president only just returned from the U.S. Africa Leadership Summit in the United States, and he met with Joe Biden, the U.S. president, who did not spare any words in praising President Muhammadu Buhari's legacy in deepening democracy, not only in Nigeria, but in the rest of Africa. And President Buhari himself has said if there's any legacy he wants to leave behind, free, fair, and credible elections. Dino, very quickly before I bring in Felix.
Yeah, I want to say that is totally incorrect. The legacy he will be leaving behind is now, if in 2023 he conducts a free, fair election, then he will leave one legacy, and that will be the only legacy. So it is not correct for the president himself to say yesterday that he tried his best, but his best was not good enough. That's a confessional statement. That is self-acceptance of failure. He agreed, the president agreed that I have failed because he said his best was not good enough. In every ramification today in this country, this government have failed. We are more disunited than even during the Civil War. The unity of this country is more important than the economy and other. But today, there is no unity in this country. There is, agitation in every part of Nigeria. There is poverty all over our faces. From the fastest growing economy in Africa, we have become the poverty capital of the world. So what I'm saying in essence is simple, that the APC have brought nothing other than pain, sorrow, death, insecurity to this country. And no same Nigeria. You cannot, that is why I sympathize. That's why I sympathize with Felix, because you cannot speak about APC without looking stupid. You cannot speak about APC. That's why my friend is not flowing.
Felix. So, it would not be fair if I allow you to continue. Felix Morka, I'm sure you heard everything. Who really is to blame at all if there are blames to be assigned? Would you say that the APC has been in the driving seat of governance in the last 7.5 years in Nigeria? Or is it President Muhammadu Buhari?
Well, President Muhammadu Buhari is a member of APC and he's serving as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, elected on the platform of APC. So President Muhammadu Buhari is the leader of our party, and we are, completely proud of his record. Now, first of all, let me remind my dear brother Dino that he is not a minister of, Christianity, of Islam, and he's not in a position to advise me on my spiritual life. So I think, he should cut it out. Second of all, I think that, President Muhammadu Buhari, in his modesty, in his understandable modesty, will make comments that does not in any way undercut the magnitude of his contribution to the national life of our country. Now, Dino talks about APC being unable to unite Nigeria. Is that even something that Dino should be saying? My dear brother Dino, you shouldn't be saying that. Now, listen, look at your party. Atiku Abubakar, who is your presidential candidate that you speak so, eloquently about, has been unable to begin to unite a small political party in this country, the PDP. How does he intend, where does he intend to find the capacity to unite Nigeria? You see, when you say that, it's easy to say. Words are free. You don't pay any money for words. So you can say what you want. But the fact of the matter is that this country is by far more united than Atiku Abubakar, your presidential candidate, has the potential to even aspire to unite. Governor Wike, just a few days ago, maybe yesterday or a couple of days ago, completely sealed the premises of your party. Now, why is it so difficult for your candidate who promised to unite this country to bring Wike to the table and actually work out the difficulties, whatever it is that is completely torn your party to pieces? Why can't he actually do that? He can't do that. You want to convince Nigerians, these 200 million or plus Nigerians, that he has the potential, the capacity to bring the entire country together with all of our complexities. You know what, listen, you can speak those words if you like, but I don't buy it, and I know that millions of Nigerians don't buy it because there's no shred of truth to it. Now, about my brother Kenneth, Look, fact of the matter is that, we are just 7 years plus into our administration. We took power and government from a party that was in office since 1999 that did nothing except the profligate use and appropriation of national resources. $60 billion of our foreign reserve was completely frittered away with no record, nothing at all to show. Up to 20 billion when we took power in 2015. How dare anyone, whether yourself or Dino, speak to, economic accomplishments? Dino Melaye, my dear brother, you know as well as I do, and I think many Nigerians know, that your government of, about 16 years completely made a huge, humongous mess. I know huge and humongous can be synonyms, but I use both to underscore the severity of the absolute pauperization that you inflicted on this country. You know what, I'm not somebody given to a lot of words, but I tell you most sincerely that a day will come, history will document the damage you did to this country. APC over the last 7 years has been trying, just struggling to clear the mess you have made. So don't come on national television to actually, pontificate. You don't have the audacity to do that. I'm sorry, with due respect to you.
Felix Moka, thank you very much. Let me bring it to Kenneth Okonkwo here. Well, it seems to be a blame game really going on here. Your party, the Labour Party, we've been hearing over and over again from Peter Obi that he will unite the country. So apparently the unity of Nigeria is in question. But, I mean, is it fair really to completely write off President Muhammadu Buhari, just like I pointed out earlier? I mean, he's been given commendations about democracy and how he has deepened it and, further plans to do so. I mean, we're here, your party, the Labour Party and other parties actually are enjoying, seemingly, from, the free reign that President Muhammadu Buhari seems to have given, democratic culture in Nigeria. Kenneth?
Yes, at one time in history, I had confessed my personal likeness for President Buhari. Unfortunately for him, I love Nigeria more. If I have the facts that I would have used today to defend him like I defended him in the past, I would say so. But one thing I forbid is telling myself a lie, because to thine own self be true. There is nothing on the table for me to use to defend APC. Nothing. And that is why when both of them are talking, I don't know what both of them are still waiting in their parties. They should make a competition on who failed more. The competition between PDP and APC is who failed more. Because both of them are failures. Let's take the issue of power. I saw Atiku Abubakar personally saying that on the eve of their leaving office, they commissioned 5 companies and gave them almost all the money for power. And he confessed that unfortunately, they did not deliver. For going almost 24 years, we cannot even have power. These two parties, both of them are sharing 71 months of ASU strike at home. When one party, like I said, when one party, PDP, is talking about unity, excuse me, please, let me say one thing about unity. You don't give what you don't have. This is 7 months after the presidential primary election. 7 months. And the party PDP is still irretrievably and irreconcilably differing on issue. What are they differing on? Power and money. Nothing else. Now, IU is established by Wike that he is corrupt because Wike presented facts and IU has not satisfactorily disputed them. Why has he not resigned? Now, the 5 governors, I must confess, are even lenient to be insisting that the concession they need is IU resigning. Actually, they should be talking about they should be talking about Atiku himself stepping down. Atiku himself told Jonathan that he should step down based on zoning. Jonathan traveled abroad to plead with him to allow him to complete his tenure, and he refused.
Yeah, well,
then Atiku said it's the turn of the Southeast to produce the next president of Nigeria. And he usurped it. So they should tell him to step down.